Okay, boys, we have to address this. I've seen way too many Spurs fans say this, think this, and forget about the Spurs' biggest plus they will have next year. And literally, everyone's forgotten about it. Everyone's talking about this, and that, and how we need to get better this way, and we're not going to make the playoffs next year, and we're still not good enough to compete in the West. All this nonsense. There are two things that I think are going to drastically improve the Spurs next year. And literally no one talks about it. And people have forgotten. There's two things. One is the biggest addition that we've added. And then one is just also a progression, you could say. And I'm going to talk about that first because I don't think people will consider it really. Last year, in a very competitive West, like it will be this year, the San Antonio Spurs were on track for the first half of the season to make the play-in tournament. They were around that 12 to 10 range, right? And then January hit for the Spurs, and we struggled badly. Going into the All-Star break, we were not playing well at all. We then traded for De'Aaron Fox to hope to make a push and solidify our spot in the play-in at least and try to make the playoffs. Because it seems like the Spurs want to get Wemby and this young core a taste of the playoffs. And I think it's important too. A young team like the Rockets, who got their first playoff experience for a lot of their young players last year, it's going to be really important come next year when they're really going to make a push with Kevin Durant. The Spurs had a bad January. We then traded for De'Aaron Fox. And then Wemby, 6 games later, has the blood clot issue. Now, yes, you could say even before Wemby's blood clot and before they got Fox, the Spurs were on track, but then they had a bad January, and if they kept up at that rate, they were not going to make the play-in. Fair enough. Only Wemby's blood clot, which was reportedly affecting his energy levels, which I even noticed, and me and my brother talked about it watching some Spurs games. I don't remember if it was the Hornets game or if it was the Pacers game in France. I honestly don't remember, but Wemby just looked knackered, like quickly in games. And I couldn't explain it. It was like, why is he getting so tired? Because at the beginning of the year, it seemed like he had conditioning issues with that new weight that he put on, but he seemed to get over it pretty quickly and got used to it once the NBA season was up and running. And then there was a couple of games where I was just like, he looks tired so quickly, and I was like, why is this happening? That's apparently one of the red flags that the team doctors of the Spurs noticed, especially going into All-Star break, where they were like, okay, they couldn't really see why he was this knackered. Give him the break at All-Star break, and he'll be fine. But he came back from All-Star break, and he was still getting tired very quickly in games. Come to find out, he had the blood clot, which could go back to all the way back to the Pacers series in France, which was like the beginning of January. So we did struggle mightily in January, but yes, Wemby was already affected by the blood clot or the deep vein thrombosis in his right shoulder. Now, we then got De'Aaron Fox. If we had a healthy Wemby and the fact that we got Fox, I think for sure we would have made the playoffs last year. I mean, the play-in for sure, which is a part of the playoffs. And that was in a very competitive West last year. Okay? I think people forget that we were really going to make the playoffs, but Wemby got hurt. Fox wasn't there for the whole season. And now we're getting that back. Forget the Fox trade. Before that, we were going to make the play-in before Wemby had the deep vein thrombosis, and then we started playing like shit. Wemby is back. Not only is he back, he is in his 3rd year. He is still a very young player. I believe he's 21 still. He's younger than me. He is still going to grow and get better. If he can have a leap to like top 10 solidified MVP-like candidate season, that's going to be the biggest impact the Spurs need. Right? Wemby is the best player on the Spurs team by far. He is the most promising prospect with the most potential possibly ever. If he can stay healthy and the fact that we're getting him back, that's going to be the biggest upgrade that the Spurs team had from last year, because Wemby didn't even play or played about half the year last year. So if we get a full season of healthy Wemby in year 3, who's gotten better, who's seen more reps, who has better players around him now, who has a full season under Mitch Johnson's new system, which who knows if that's will be a good thing or a bad thing. We're getting a year through Wemby. And that's the biggest plus I think the Spurs forget about, is that a lot of our young guys, especially Wemby, are still young and they're still growing together, building chemistry, and just as individual players. They're still figuring out the NBA. So I think a lot of Spurs fans forget that and are impatient and like, trade for Giannis, trade for blah, 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 whatever. And then the last one I really want to talk about, because I've seen him keep getting disrespected over and over again. De'Aaron Fox. People forget that we literally traded for De'Aaron Fox. I think part of it is because Wemby and Fox only played like 6 games. And then, obviously, Wemby had the deep vein thrombosis. And the Spurs didn't play that well. Also, I think Fox's play when he came to San Antonio in a new system with the injured hand, with the pinky that he got surgery on finally, he didn't play that well either. People forget how good Fox is. And I'm tired of people disrespecting Fox. I was watching Gilbert Arenas' podcast the other day, or show that he has, and no disrespect to him or his show. I find it quite interesting. I'm subscribed to their YouTube channel. I watch some of their stuff, especially when it comes to my Spurs. And the video title was like, the Spurs have a promising young core, a bright future, or whatever, which we do. And he was saying that after he saw the one game of Dylan Harper at Summer League, which I agree with Gilbert in this, in that he looked really good, really fast. And you can tell he's going to be good. And Gilbert was saying, you have Dylan, you have Stephon Castle. That's your future. 2 big combo guards at 6'6", respectively. Put them at the 1 and 2 and get De'Aaron Fox out of there. He wants the Spurs to get Castle and Harper their reps now. And to get them, seasoned and ready, NBA playoff ready as soon as possible. Not only does I think that statement undervalue the fact that rookies, especially when they come to the league, they don't have to play and they can learn behind someone like De'Aaron Fox, which can help them out a lot. I know it's more in football and like quarterback wise. It really helps them to like sit out a couple years to just watch a veteran do his thing and learn the offense. It's also important in the NBA. So not only do I think he's underappreciating that, he's also forgetting that De'Aaron Fox is good. He is like really, really good. I think he's a top 10 point guard in the league. He is the fastest player in the league, one of the best downhill scorers, one of the best pick and roll players, one of the best transition players. He's an all-star. Sacramento wasted a lot of his years. He's getting the best big man he's ever had. No disrespect to Domantas Sabonis, but Wemby is just a different type of player. And people forget that we got him for nothing. And you really think the Spurs are just going to ship him out just like that after he wanted to come to the Spurs? Do you know how bad it would look for the Spurs? And also for other NBA players thinking if they want to go to San Antonio with Wemby, which we've seen more and more of it. How is it going to look when the guy who wanted to come to San Antonio, and because of him wanting to go to San Antonio, the Spurs got him for really cheap, and then you just ship him out the next year? Like, it's mind-boggling to me that people think Fox, like, they just completely write him off. Like, he's good. He's better than Stephon Castle, and he's better than Dylan Harper. Unless Dylan Harper comes in and has, like, a Michael Jordan rookie season, there's no way he's going to be better than De'Aaron Fox next year. So, my thing is, De'Aaron Fox is the second best player on this team, hands down, in my opinion. I think Wemby's at the top. He's the top tier. Then there's a tier below, which is De'Aaron Fox. Then there's a tier below that, which is like Stephon Castle, Devin Vassell, and then possibly Dylan Harper can be in that, depending how good his rookie season is. Then there below that, you have guys like Harrison Barnes, Jeremy Sohan, Keldon Johnson. The Spurs have De'Aaron Fox, and they got him for cheap, and they have not really seen the fruits of their labor yet from that trade. De'Aaron Fox is really, really good. I think people forget how good he really is. Again, pick and roll, he's really good. And we have a couple guys on this team who are really good in the pick and roll, like Jeremy Sohan, like Luke Cornett, like Victor Wembanyama. We're bringing in guys, a 3-and-D wing that we really needed, Carter Bryant. We got the backup big in Olynyk and Cornett. The Spurs are totally fine, and I disagree with Gilbert a lot. They don't need to trade Fox. Yes, in a perfect world, was Dylan Harper, like, we got the number 2 pick. Would it have been better if there was like a generational talent at number 2 that wasn't a point guard? Yes, but it wasn't. We got Dylan Harper, and I think he'll be really good one day. Is there a world where the Spurs can run a lineup of De'Aaron Fox, Stephon Castle, and Dylan Harper? I think there is, mainly because Dylan Harper is height, who can play 2, and then Stephon Castle, who's a really good defender and big, strong defender who can play the 3 because of his slashing ability, which is a very strong point of his game. You could also just do what most people think the Spurs are going to do, is run De'Aaron Fox at the 1, Stephon Castle at the 2, and then have Dylan Harper run the bench. He'll be your 6th man. That's a really good 6th man if you ask me. And he doesn't have to carry the load from the get-go in San Antonio. Let him develop. I think the Spurs haven't extended Fox yet because they're being careful with the situation. I do think they will extend him eventually. That's something people are also, I think, underrating or not taking into account, is that NBA players and just athletes in general and people in general, when there's money on the line in a contract year for De'Aaron Fox, you're going to perform better. And I think De'Aaron Fox will come out this season and prove that this was the right choice. It was right for them to trade for him, that they should extend him to the max contract, which I think they will. And then who knows what the Spurs are going to do in the future. It's a good problem to have 3 really good guards. And De'Aaron Fox is in his prime. It's not like he's an old 35-year-old. He's in his prime. Still in his 20s. He fits with the Spurs timeline. I think you can run a lineup up there with Dylan, Stephon, and De'Aaron Fox all together. Or you can have one of them come off the bench and play that Manu Ginobili role, which Manu did so well because he could have been a starter on a lot of teams, but he decided for the team it was better that he came off the bench and that he could be a starter, but he was down to win, and they won 4 rings. So, if you're a Spurs fan, please, please, 1, put some love down in the comment section below for De'Aaron Fox. And 2, don't forget that Fox and Wemby are our best players still. And yes, the future is bright with Carter Bryant, Jeremy Sohan, Dylan Harper, Stephon Castle. On Gilbert Arenas' podcast, they were talking that Carter Bryant needed to start. It's like, yes, he looked great in Summer League, but it's Summer League. And we cannot overhype things just like that. He forgets we still have Jeremy Sohan and all these guys. Like, the Spurs are fine either way. It's a good problem. It's good problems to have when you're deciding that you have too many good players to bench. Like, you have too many quality starters that one of them has to come off the bench. It's a good problem to have, and the Spurs are just fine. Let me know down in the comment section below if you disagree or agree. Do you think Wemby will have an MVP-like season next year, and do you think De'Aaron Fox will show out and get the max contract with the San Antonio Spurs?